Was so shocked and scary, and it was like my heart was already gone. I can see I already dead.
In a world filled with stories of adversity and resilience, few can match the shocking and remarkable tale of Noela Rukundo. In January 2015, when Rukundo flew from Melbourne, Australia to Burundi for her stepmother's funeral, little did she know that she'd be attending her own funeral when she returned home a month later. The event that unfolded in between is a nightmare that still haunts her. Welcome back to Storyscape. Before we dive into today's video, take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to also hit that notification bell so that you won't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Noela Rukundo immigrated to Australia from Burundi in 2004 with her 5 children in search of a brighter future. Noela, whose first husband had passed away, embarked on the journey to provide a better life for her kids. There in Australia, she met Belenga Kalala, a Congolese refugee who assisted in translating English to Swahili for Rukundo at the same resettlement agency where they were both employed. Over the course of the next decade, Rukundo and Kalala settled in Melbourne, where they got married and had 3 children. However, in 2015, Kalala began to believe that Rukundo was being unfaithful. When she traveled to Burundi to attend her stepmother's funeral in January 2015, Kalala decided to take revenge on his wife. On February 17, 2015, the evening following her stepmother's memorial, Rukundo felt exhausted and emotionally drained. The heat, even indoors, was stifling. As she tried to rest, Kalala reached out to offer comfort and suggested that she go outside to get some fresh air. Following his advice, she decided to step outside. Noela, who didn't think anything of it, felt that her husband was worried and cared about her. But upon leaving the hotel, she was approached by a man holding a gun. The man warned her not to scream, saying that if she did, he would shoot her. The man told her that, although her screaming would draw attention that would get him caught, she, on the other hand, would be dead. Rukundo followed their instructions and the gunman guided her into a car, where 2 other people awaited her arrival. Noela found herself sandwiched between these 2 men, one holding a small gun while the other had a longer one. They instructed the driver to hand over a scarf, which they used to cover Rukundo's face before driving away. As these events unfolded, Noela remained silent. After a drive lasting around 30 to 40 minutes, the car stopped. The gunman then pushed Noela into a building, securing her firmly to a chair. Amidst a tense atmosphere, she overheard one of her captors instructing another to go and call the boss. They started questioning her about actions that might have provoked a man to target her. She responded saying, "Which man? Because I don't have any problem with anybody." One of the gunmen taunted her saying, "Let me call who has paid us to kill you." He then dialed the number and informed the person on the other end, "We already have her." To her shock, Rukundo heard her husband's voice instruct, "Kill her." As her abductors informed Kalala about the location where they intended to dispose of his wife's body, she lost consciousness. She regained consciousness just as the hitman finished their conversation with her husband. In that dire moment, she believed there was no way to escape her fate, thinking, "I was already dead. Nothing I can do can save me." However, something unexpected happened. The kidnappers told her, "We're not going to kill you. We don't kill women and children." However, the gang's leader wanted to extort more money from Kalala, so they told him that the murder fee had increased. The new demand was an extra $3,400 in Australian dollars, making the total payment nearly $10,000. While all this was happening, Noela's brother grew concerned about her disappearance, as she hadn't informed him of her return to Melbourne and her belongings remained in her room. Suspecting something bad had happened to her, the brother reached out to Kalala asking for $545 to pay the police to open an investigation. Kalala's husband promptly transferred the money and expressed his concern. The kidnappers held Rukundo captive for 2 days before they let her go. They dropped her on the side of the road and gave her incriminating evidence that included a memory card containing recorded phone conversations and Western Union money transfer receipts that proved Kalala was behind the hit. The men informed Rukundo that she had 80 hours to leave the country. They emphasized that her husband was serious and suggested that her life might be spared, but warned that others might not do the same. According to Noela, The kidnapper's final words were, "We just want you to go back to tell other stupid women like you what happened. You must learn something. You people get a chance to go overseas for a better life. But the money you are earning, the money the government gives to you, you use it for killing each other." All the while, Kalala believed that the job had been done and his wife was dead. He informed his family and friends that Rukundo was killed in a tragic accident while she was away. The Melbourne African community offered both spiritual and financial support to Kalala. However, unknown to Kalala, Rukundo was alive. Although it was the middle of the night in Australia, Rukundo promptly reached out to her pastor in Melbourne, seeking assistance. She also reached out to the Kenyan and Belgian embassies to help in her return to Australia. On February 22, 2015, she returned to Melbourne and headed straight home to confront Kalala. At 7:30 p.m., she observed Kalala escorting guests to their cars after the memorial service he had organized for his supposedly deceased wife. Noela patiently waited for her husband to be alone before approaching him. After the guests departed, Rukundo appeared in front of her husband, who was understandably perplexed and terrified. He asked, "Is it my eyes? Is it a ghost?" Initially skeptical, he cautiously approached her, his steps hesitant and cautious. He muttered to himself, and upon reaching her, he nervously touched her shoulder. Startled, he repeated the action and finally uttered, "Noela, is it you?" Then he began to scream, "I'm sorry for everything." To this, Rukundo responded saying, "Surprise! I'm still alive. You are a wicked man. Why did you want me to be killed? What about your small children? Who is going to look after them?" She then contacted the police. At first, Kalala claimed he had no involvement in the murder plan. However, besides the evidence Rukundo presented from Burundi, the police later recorded a phone conversation in which Kalala confessed his crime to Rukundo. In court, Kalala admitted to one count of incitement to murder, saying that sometimes people can be influenced to do something wrong, but afterward they regret their actions. Balenga Kalala received a 9-year prison sentence, with the possibility of parole after 6 years. Surprisingly, Rukundo holds no grudge against Kalala. According to her, he's a human being. From my heart, I forgive him. Let God judge him. What's particularly startling about Noela's story is the backlash faced by Noela following Balenga's arrest. Many members of the Congolese community believe she shouldn't have reported him. She received threatening messages and her property was damaged by those who were angry towards her. Noela had to relocate from her previous residence. When questioned about those who blamed her, she held her head high and said, "I will stand up like a strong woman. My situation, my past life, that is gone. I'm starting a new life now." Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're yet to do so. Be sure to also hit that notification bell because we have more amazing videos on the way.